Hey everybody, this is Ken coming to you on Saturday. Just wanted to do a short video on something that some of you may or may not be familiar with, and it's something that you need to really think about in conjunction with your service-connected disability. And what that is secondary service connection disabilities. Um, in a nutshell, just so maybe some of you out there, I don't know where you're at in your process. You may not have filed at all yet, or you may have filed and you've got a rating. Maybe it's 0, maybe it's 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%. You don't know, but you've got a rating. You've started receiving your compensation, or if you're at 0%, obviously you're not. But what do you do now? Okay, I've got a rating, so what do I do now? So most veterans, just like myself, um, you first of all you got to figure out if you have a condition that you can claim service connection for, and but most of the time that's all we do is we say, well, I'm gonna claim what I got. Maybe it's a knee injury, shoulder injury. Maybe it's a gut issue that you developed while you're overseas or whatever, and that's all you're going for. But what most don't realize, and what I just recently found out, is there's a whole totally different angle that you can explore concerning your service-connected disabilities. And now my computer's going to hang up on me. No, maybe not. So what is this angle? It's called secondary service connection. A secondary service connected disability is a disability that resulted from a condition that is already service connected. So in other words, your service connected disability has caused this. In claims for secondary service connection, proving a nexus or a link, that's what that word nexus means, a link, is especially important. A nexus is a medical opinion that, in cases of secondary service connection, links a veteran's secondary disability to their already service-connected disability. So again, a nexus is a medical opinion, and in a secondary service connection, it links the veteran's secondary disability to their already service-connected disability. The nexus between your primary disability and your secondary disability must be clearly established in order to be granted secondary service connection for the disability. This is different than a claim for an increase in rating because you are claiming an entirely new disability instead of asking for an increase for a service-connected disability. So a lot of people think that the only way to get an increase in their benefits is to try to um, up their claim that they already have in. Um, if you have new evidence showing that your condition has worsened or is worsening, then you have a shot at um, getting a rate increase. But before you go through all the trouble of doing that, you need to make sure you go to the 38 CFR. If you haven't watched that video, go back and find that and watch that. You need to go to your 38 CFR and see, what is the criteria that they're looking for in order for you to go that next step up in your particular service-connected disability, and it's spelled out there. So, but an alternative to that is secondary conditions. Okay, For example, if you have developed sleep apnea and you also say you have service connected PTSD, okay, and now you've developed sleep apnea, you've been diagnosed with it. You don't necessarily have to be diagnosed with it right off the bat, but you're suspect that you have sleep apnea. There can be a medical link to um, sleep apnea to PTS, your service connected PTSD. There's medical research showing that PTSD can bring on or worsen sleep apnea. So there's a definite research link there. So it's a viable claim. And this is just one example of the many that are out there. I mean, there's conditions that can be linked to other conditions, and so a condition that you're thinking is not service connected, it didn't happen in service, yet it can be linked to whatever your service connected disability is. Maybe it's like for instance mine, ulcerative colitis. It's a gut problem. So there's many different things that I have found in doing my own research that can be linked to their symptoms and um, added conditions that are caused by ulcerative colitis or UC. Um, there's fatigue. There's links to possibly it causing high blood pressure, um, pain problems as far as bone pains, and there's just all sorts of things. So do your research. Whatever you're just for instance, if you have plantar fasciitis, a lot of people have that and is documented from their medical records. Okay, so go on Google and search, hey, you know, plantar fasciitis linked to, and whatever, other symptoms you're having. Maybe it's knee pain or hip pain or whatever. Put that in there. Does anything come up? Are there medical studies showing that that there is a link there? If there is, hey, you may be onto something there. So, do your research and see what you can find. You can also file a claim for secondary disability for conditions developed as a result of medications that you're taking for your service-connected disability. That can be prescription drugs or over-the-counter drugs. If you're taking over-the-counter, pain meds, ibuprofen, whatever, look up what the side effects of those drugs are. If you're taking prescription drugs, look up the side effects. We all know, and if you watch TV any, you'll see drug commercials, and a quarter of the commercial is the benefits of the drug, and the remaining three-quarters of the commercial are all the side effects, all the bad things that can happen. So if you're taking a drug and you're suffering from any of the side effects of that drug, you may not have even realized it until now. Start looking at that's what happened with me. As I started researching this stuff, and I'm like, holy cow, um, that's what was causing this. I was like, well, crap, so, and you'll start stacking up. You'd be surprised at the number of secondary things that you can stack up. And there is a particular mental health condition that can be linked to a lot of things, and it's called SSD, or somatic symptom disorder. Um, Used to be referred to as chronic pain, um, and that can be secondary, and it can link to a whole bunch of things. So there's stuff out there. You just gotta look at it. You gotta do your research. If you're dealing with conditions that are not service connected, take some time, start doing some research, and see if they can be linked to your service connected disability, whatever it is, however minuscule it may seem to be. See if there's things out there. Maybe you've been rated for tinnitus at 10%. That's the highest that you're going to get for tinnitus. However, there are other things that can be linked to tinnitus. Do you have migraine headaches? Your migraine headaches could be linked to tinnitus. Sleep apnea and sleep disorders, insomnia, can be linked to tinnitus. SSD, somatic symptom disorder, can be linked to tinnitus. So there's other things out there that can increase your rating and your disability. You gotta find out. You gotta know your body, start learning what's going on in your body, and start doing your research. Can it be linked to my service connected disability? Um, so just want to take a quick minute to I waited. I don't want to go through my whole story. I'll do that again in another video because it may take a while. But I waited for 27 years to file my first claim, and I got that 30%, um, and I let that ride for a little bit, and I started hearing about a company. So I signed up with this company, and they helped me get another 10% for my for tinnitus, and then they just kind of sat, and there was all these, and they've helped a lot of people, a lot of my personal friends, um, but weren't really doing anything for me, and I was really the communication was sporadic. So anyway, I had started doing some research, and I had read a little bit about secondary conditions and nexus letters and this and that and the other, and it was kind of getting bits and pieces. Didn't really know exactly how all of it fit together, and I happened to see an ad for this company called VAinsiders.com, and so I went to the site. I read all their stuff that was available. I watched some videos, and I actually emailed, or I don't remember if I emailed or messaged, one or the other, the founder and owner, Brian Reese, and he got right back with me and answered my questions and everything. So anyway, um, so I joined their program. It's called VAinsiderselite.com, and it's a 3-step process. You go in there and read everything, feel comfortable with it before you do it. There's no upfront cost. However, there is, if they're able to get you an increase, then there's the equivalent of the difference in your increase times 6. So whatever that amount might be, if you go from 10 to 50, it'll be whatever that difference is between 10 and 50 in your monthly compensation times 6. And the way I look at it is, it's not money out of my pocket because I wasn't getting it before and I wasn't gonna get it. So that to me is a small price to pay. Look, I waited 27 years. You know what that's equivalent to? If I would have gotten rated 27, now it's 30 years ago, at the original 30%, I would have been 152,000, right at $152,000 richer. Yeah, I wouldn't have had that right in my pocket, but I would have been getting that for that many, not that amount. I would have gotten the equivalent of that up to now. So, you're leaving money on the table, and it's money. The money that you're going to pay them is money that you're not getting right now. So for 6 months, and if you have a back pay, you could pay it all up front. It just depends. go ahead. That's why you need to go ahead and file your intent to file, because that starts the clock going for your claim, and you got a year. You have a year to file your fully developed claim, and then once you file that claim, if you're granted a rating, then it'll pay back to the date that you originally filed that intent to file. So that's very important that you go ahead and get that done. So anyway, VA Insiders Elite.com. I've been very impressed with them. Uh, Communication is great. Anytime you have a question, I was assigned a VCE, a veteran counselor, and been in contact with that person several times. They have a medical team. I've talked with two of the members of the medical team. Um, if you're ready to pull the trigger, they'll go to bat for you, and they'll review your records. If they feel like there's significant evidence there that they can put together to make a claim for you, then there is a fee for the Nexus letters and for the disability benefit questionnaires. Um, but hey, the way I look at that, you're paying a professional. They're medical professionals, and they know what they're doing. They know how to write these things to benefit, to best benefit you. So, if you're looking to go that route, I would recommend them. And but that the choice is up to you. Yes, you can do it all on your own. Um, it's going to take you a while to figure out. It's going to take you time, and you're going to have to do a lot of research, and you still need to do that anyway. But I would rather have people that I know that know what they're doing, and to help me do it and get it done, so I can go on to bigger and better things. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and just encourage you, if you haven't gotten started, get started. Go in and file your intent to file, and then let's get your stuff together. Let's get your medical records and start requesting those, and start building your claim. All right. Hope you have a great Saturday. Good talking with you again, and I'm just gonna say peace out.